Oh my god. It's official, everybody. We are getting a season 2 for Twisted Metal, the television series. Now, I know not everybody was super happy about the Game Awards yesterday. Maybe your favorite game didn't win. But for every Twisted Metal fan out there watching, I can probably say we all collectively gave a large cheer when we heard from that sweet boy, Anthony Mackie's mouth, that Twisted Metal Season 2 was announced. I mean, it was just pure joy. It's so great to see that we are getting a season 2. It is official. They have not given a date or, any time frame of when it'll be coming. More than likely, if I was to give an educated guess, probably early 2025, possibly, because they're still going to have to go through the filming process, the writing process, all that stuff, editing, before the show comes out. So there's no way we're going to get it next year. But hopefully 2025 release, we will see that. The only downside, obviously, to the Game Awards last night, though, was no indication or any hint that a new Twisted Metal game is in the works. Because as excited as I am for a season 2 for the television series, I am a little bit bummed that we didn't get anything to relate to or to do with a Twisted Metal game being made. It kind of just seems like a what are you doing, Sony, situation where like you're putting all this money and this energy into the television series, which is great. But I feel like at this point, Sony has completely forgotten that the show is based on the video games. And a lot of people who've watched the show probably don't even know that it comes from a video game. So it's one of those things, like, I thought that if season 1 was successful enough to get a season 2 announcement, they would alongside announce a game coming with it. So it kind of feels like a shot in the foot, not only to the fans, but also just to Sony themselves, because I feel like this would be the time. It doesn't have to have a trailer. The game doesn't even have to be in development yet. But just to announce that they have a team starting up to work on a new Twisted Metal game, that's all we need, man. We need that little bit of kindling to fuel this fire. And hopefully one day we will get that soon. What I'm assuming now is they're going to wait until either the Summer Game Fest next year or the release of Season 2. And once that comes out and if that's successful, then maybe at that point we'll get a new game announcement. But for right now, it's up in the air, as it always has been. I'm going to keep sniffing the copium and hoping that we will get an announcement for a new game very soon. But that being said, let's move on from that and talk about the television show. If you guys didn't see my full review on this channel of the first season of Twisted Metal, highly recommend going checking that out and then coming back to this video, because I do have some spoilers I'm going to talk about here. And so I want to give a disclaimer. If you have not seen the TV show, you might want to click away for this one just because I am going to get into some spoiler talk of the show and my thoughts on what I'm hoping to see in Season 2. Twisted Metal was not what I expected going into it for the television show. It was a lot more comedy than it was horror or gore or action, I guess. It was more of a comedy fest. But I ended up really enjoying it. At first, I was a little bit put off by the comedy. I thought it felt a little forced. I didn't really like Anthony Mackie's portrayal of John Doe. It felt a little bit too cheesy, too on the nose. But then once I started getting into it and started understanding the characters and the world that they're building, they definitely are not taking themselves seriously. And I think that's the best way to go around this. Because if you think about it, I mean, the whole world of Twisted Metal, the universe that has been created over these past 8 games, there really isn't a cohesive storyline to follow. So you kind of have to create your own world for a television show like this. And they really, I think, drove home almost every single aspect from every game into one show, which is pretty astonishing. So there's some dark comedy bits, that we would have seen in Twisted Metal Black. And then there's some really campy silliness that we would have gotten in TM3, 4, and even TM2. So I really like to see that they brought a lot of stuff like that all into the show to have one cohesive storyline that works for a television series. On top of that, the story made sense for the world that they built around it. Did it feel like Twisted Metal? Not really. I mean, it is definitely more about the characters than it is about the vehicles and the car combat. However, as we all saw in that final episode of the television series, my God, like, that fight scene was amazing. It was what we all were hoping for throughout the entire season. And I understand a lot of people didn't like that they waited until the final episode to give us what we came for. I totally understand that. However, I definitely am on the side that I believe having a show care more about the characters makes more sense than just having a straight up action fest for every episode. Don't get me wrong, I love car combat, obviously. I love seeing stuff blowing up. I love action, all that stuff is really great. But if you have a television show and that's all it is, there'd be no substance. I wouldn't give a shit at that point who dies and who lives. I want to have that kind of like, oh no, this character is almost going to die. We're going to lose them. They're not going to be around anymore. And that really hurts, you know, it makes me feel for that character as a viewer. So personally, I like the way they went around this. Yes, it was a slow burn, but we got to find out the backstories for a lot of characters who now with season 2 coming out, we are going to get that actual tournament dynamic. How is it going to run? I have no idea. I do have some predictions that I hope will make it into season 2. But for right now, it's one of those things where it seems like season 2 is going to be based off Calypso's overall tournament, like we've known and loved throughout the years of the Twisted Metal games. And it's going to include a lot of the characters that we've now grown to love and enjoy from season 1, bringing them over to season 2. Of course, it looks like they're going to bring some new characters as well. We got a hint at Axel being in season 2. We got a hint at Mr. Grimm. And if you stayed for the after credits scene, of course, we have Sweet Tooth still alive, so he's going to be coming back. It's really interesting to see what they're going to do with this, and I really hope it's going to be good. I don't really have many like fears. I think it will be good, you know, as long as they just keep the tried and true how they did season 1 and they don't go above and beyond over top with the comedy. I think if they just keep it the way it was, still have some of that dark comedy in there, still have some blood in there, some action of course, and just more car combat. It doesn't need to be over the top car combat, but as long as it's not just one episode of it, I will be happy. Also, because it's a season 2 and the success of the first one, hopefully we get a bigger budget this time around, maybe longer episodes, maybe just in general a longer season. I would love to see hour-long episodes. That'd be great because the 30-minute episodes went by really fast, especially if you use the most television shows nowadays are like 45 minutes to an hour every episode. So when you watch a show now that's 30 minutes long, it really feels 30 minutes long. Like it's super short. But all in all, predictions I want to see for season 2, man. I definitely want to see Calypso, of course. We want to see him. We want to see who's portraying Calypso. I really hope it's not the dude who did the voice of Calypso in season 1. We never saw a person. We saw the back silhouette of his head, but otherwise we just heard a voice. I did not like his portrayal. I think it was like a stand-in. I don't think it was meant to be a big character, obviously. So I hope that in season 2, if we actually see an in-person Calypso, I really hope it's someone who really gets into character and really just feeds into that kind of evil cheesiness that we've known and loved with Calypso. I do hope they go towards the TM2 kind of Calypso, not Twisted Metal Black, where he's just a mysterious, silent protagonist. I would hate that. I would love to see him more upfront and more vocal. So, yeah, I don't know. What's your guys' predictions for who the actor is going to be for Calypso? Who would you like to see? Personally, and I doubt this would ever happen, but personally, I would love Nicolas Cage to play Calypso. I think he would do an amazing job. Or, of course, Mel McMurrin. I would love to see him actually do a live-action portrayal of Calypso. I think he could do it. I think he's got the hair and everything. And, of course, he is the voice of the original Calypso from TM 2, 3, and 4. So I think he could do it. But, yeah, I would love to see him come in there, or, of course, Nicolas Cage. But that's my suggestion, but I doubt any of those would actually happen. That being said, other than that, I would love to see some more car combat, like I stated before. I would love to see Hammerhead become a thing. So obviously we had Mike and Stu from the original. I think Mike and Stu were from the original Twisted Metal. I don't think that was TM2. I could be wrong on that one. I always get them mixed up. But we had the characters in the first season, but we never saw them in a vehicle. We never saw them in a monster truck or anything like that. So I would love to see them actually in a truck together, fighting in the tournament. I know at the ending, like the after credits scene, it kind of made it look like he killed Mike. But I don't think that's what happened. I really don't. I think he maybe injured Mike, but I think they're both still alive. So I would love to see them, you know, make that bromance come to reality and they join in on the contest and they're in a monster truck. I would love to see that. I want to see the return of the Preacher. My God, I think the actor who played the Preacher killed it. As much as I would have loved to see the Twisted Metal Black Preacher, you know, the old crazy psychotic man who's super religious, I would have loved to see that, of course, but you guys have to understand that would be really crazy offensive to a lot of people, and they just couldn't go down that route. It's not that dark of a show, so I understand why they went the route they did, and I think he killed it with the role. He obviously looked like he had a lot of fun with it, so I really want to see him come back. I really hope they bring in the Brimstone vehicle as well. I don't know if they would go that far with having human subjects on the front of the vehicle that he launches at you. That'd be fucking crazy, but awesome. Who knows? I just hope to see the car, though. I would love to see that, like, what is it? Like an El Camino looking truck? I don't really know what vehicle it is. I'm bad with cars. But either way, I would love to see that. Also, Bloody Mary apparently is still alive. We had a hint of that at the end of season 1. So we'll probably see Spectre. I don't know if they'll have her, Covenant ghost missiles. That'd be super cool if they did. But that's another thing too. I would love to see special weapons. We didn't see really any of that in the first season. We saw a little bit of some like hints at some special weapons, like the blood missiles from 2012 and stuff. But otherwise, there wasn't really like a special weapon. So I would love to see someone bring in a special weapon in season 2. Maybe everybody gets their own special weapons. Maybe if Calypso's a more prominent character, maybe his special abilities, right? He has his powers. Maybe he can make everybody have their own special weapon and he creates the vehicles for them. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see regardless, but I would love to see Spectre's ghost missile. I would love to see Axel's power wave, the Axel power. That'd be pretty cool. I would love to see the skull or the scythe maybe from Mr. Grimm from Twisted Metal Black. I would love to see Shadow make a return. I know they had Shadow's hearse. I think that was by far the most viewed vehicle in the entire season of the first season. But I would love to see it come back and actually be Shadow. Maybe bring Mortimer in there somehow, shape, or form. I would love to see Mortimer as a character. So, yeah, Pizza Boy, he apparently died in the first season, but they didn't show a body. And the fact they didn't show a body tells me that he could come back. Maybe he even get resurrected as a zombie or some shit. I don't know. I would love to see Pizza Boy make a return and to have his Covenant blue Honda Civic with some pizza blades. That'd be so fucking cool. Who knows? I don't know. I'm so giddy right now of all the thoughts and things that are probably going to happen in season 2. I'm sure the creators right now are going crazy with thoughts and ideas for a season 2. More than likely, it's going to be bigger, crazier than ever. It's going to be funnier than ever. I hope that they bring Will Arnett back to play Sweet Tooth again. They have to, right? There'd be no way they would change voice actors, but that could be a possibility, I suppose. It looks like Samoa Joe is totally in on it as well. He's going to return as Sweet Tooth, which is awesome to see. He did an amazing job. So yeah, I'm very excited, man. I can't put into words how excited I am for a season 2. I'm so happy that season 1 did as well as it did. I think I also have to give some props to Five Nights at Freddy's. I heard from a lot of people, even my friends messaged me about this, where they never wanted to get Peacock just to watch Twisted Metal because they never cared about the games growing up. They never played them as a kid. They only heard the hype from me. But then once they got Peacock because they wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's, as soon as the movie ended, they went right into watching Twisted Metal. And I think a lot of people did the same thing. So it brought a lot of new eyes to the show. So that is pretty cool to see. But that being said, I really am excited for season 2. I'm hoping it'll be just as successful, if not more. And I just pray this puts more eyes on Sony and to let them know that this game has a market. There will be people who will buy a new Twisted Metal game, and we want a new game, damn it. Give us the announcement. That's all we ask. So right now, I'm sniffing the copium. I'm hoping for an announcement at Summer Games Fest, but who knows? Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below on this announcement. Are you excited for Season 2? Did you enjoy Season 1? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I'm super excited. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, show your support. As always, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.